Hey there, YouTube. Welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today, Can Crusher hopefully pays for itself. So I've run quite a few cans through this. So still using the same setup. So got the can down below. I got the Can Crusher here, and I'm using the board in the back to kind of support it and help buffer the space on these in order to let the Harbor Freight Can Crusher feed a little bit better. So the longest part with crushing cans that I've seen so far is essentially the loading. The actual crushing is very quick and simple because you just go moving down, loads the next can, move it down, loads the next can. Normally they drop through pretty simple. The thing that I'm thinking though is that I almost need like a finger maybe built in this board for when it doesn't actually drop clear of this area here. That way I can do something where it's almost like a slide lever and just go chunk. That way it knocks it out, as opposed to reaching in there and trying to knock it out with my finger. But the big reason why it's able to pay for itself is that essentially the price per pound of cans has almost doubled. So it was about 32, 34 cents for quite a while, and in the last week or so, it's gone up in my area to about 70, 75 cents. So that's a big jump, and we're going to make a lot more money than we would have before. So against the door, to kind of give you an idea of how much 50 pounds of crushed cans looks like in bags, each white bag is roughly about 5 pounds. That black bag is about 13 pounds. So you can see it's almost an entire door frame worth of cans. And that's in the crushed state. I've been taking these home from work. So essentially we've got a recycling bin at work for the cans. And no one really messes with it. Sometimes I just throw it in the trash. So I asked if it was cool if I wound up taking them home. They said it was fine. So these hold not too much in terms of weight. So using the handy dandy crane scale. Let's see if we can get this to hang real quick. So this weighs roughly 2 pounds. You can see it's about the same size as a white bag. And then when you get them crushed down, you can get almost 3 of these in one of the white bags. So with these weighing roughly about 2 pounds, now granted, some of it still has like soda and water and stuff like that in it, so it's not actually 2 pounds of cans. These are all pretty much dried out and crushed, so I'm hoping this will be just a touch over 50 pounds. It's exactly 50 pounds if I ignore the decimal point. So like if this one weighed 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds or something like that, I ignored the half. If that one weighed 5.2 pounds, I ignored the 0.2. The 13 pound bag, I think is like 13.5. I ignored that. So I don't know how the scales are going to wind up working at the place I'm going to go, but I'm hoping everything winds up working out and I have at least 50 pounds of good bags, and then I'll turn in these just to see where these wind up going, because if they're still wet, if there's, funky stuff in there or something like that, they may wind up charging you a different rate. So I'm hoping 50 pounds of good cans, probably about 6 pounds of cans. And then we're dealing with a little bit of an April snowstorm, so instead of loading them in the truck, I'll put them in the back of the Escalade. That way it stays dry, just in case they wind up saying something about, hey, the bags are wet or something. So this is my first time turning the cans in. I remember back in the day, you used to just be able to go to like a grocery store, drop them off. So now it seems like there's only like set locations where you can kind of recycle cans at for money. So that's pretty full. I do have a couple bags in the back seat. That way I'm not completely blocking my view. All right, so just got back. That went pretty smooth. It's kind of one of those things where the cost of it kind of deducts from the rewards you get. So paying for the Can Crusher, that's pretty much covered. We had just a touch over 60 pounds between all the bags, and we got $42.60. So you figure the cost of the Can Crusher is probably a one-time payment that we factor in now. That's covered, but you'll always have to cover like your gas. So had we taken, say, the hybrid, then we would have only used like maybe half a gallon of gas there and back. Taking the Escalade, we probably used almost 2 gallons of gas. So you factor in, say, $8 in gas, and you can kind of see where, doing the cans can kind of be a good idea, kind of not. It's one of those things where you're not going to get rich by drinking soda and then crushing the cans. But if you can find a way to pick up more cans and then crush your own and others, and when you go trade them in, you'll save a little bit in the long run. Well, let me put it this way. You won't save, you'll get a little bit of money back. So right now it's kind of big because essentially, like, had we done this later, it would have only been 32, 34 cents a pound. Luckily, I got 70 cents a pound right now. It's kind of like stock trading. Could I have waited until maybe the price goes up a little bit? Yeah. Could I have waited too long and the price went back down? Yeah. But I kind of thought this was a good time. So right now, So right now, can prices are kind of high. I don't know if they're going to continue to go up. At some point in time, I'm sure they'll come back down. But if you're thinking about crushing cans, that Harbor Freight can crusher definitely isn't a bad way to go. But the big thing is having space. So space for the cans in general, both before and after they're crushed. Space to take it somewhere. And then depending on how far you go, that could be a trip too. And then anytime you go to a junkyard, I always recommend double checking your tire pressures once you get home, or, you know, wait an hour and then double check your tire pressures again. So, because a lot of times I've had bad luck where I've picked up something in the tires. So, like, if this trip we got 4260, but I wind up needing a tire now, that's going to be not so great. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll check you next time.